Hello and welcome to the Crooked Rivercast. I'm your host, Robert, and joining me every week is my friend Tom as we attempt to stay in front of some of what is going on in Northeast Ohio. This is show 26, recorded on September 13th, 2025. Definitely not just another week, but the show must go on. In the morning, Tom.
Good morning, Rob. A hell of a week.
Hell of a week. Yeah, no funny banter this week. No funny banter. I do have a question of the day.
What's that?
How can you tell when you're winning the debate of ideas?
When you get shot for debating,
When your opponent starts shooting. Yes, absolutely. And I think we could say Charlie Kirk won his debate.
Yeah. Yeah, not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not sure how. I wasn't sure how I was going to start the show. But I figured, in a tragedy such as this, who else do you look to except the Babylon Bee? Now, even the Babylon Bee couldn't find anything humorous, really. But the headline is, World Deemed Unworthy of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I can get through it. So. Dateline Heaven. Charlie Kirk, faithful follower and witness of Jesus Christ, has been welcomed home to enter into the joy of his Lord. Heavenly sources confirmed that after 31 years of graciously allowing everyone on earth to benefit from his life, God deemed the world unworthy of Charlie Kirk and brought him home into eternal glory. That's about all.
Yeah.
It goes on about how evil spirits were celebrating and saying that they took out, a formidable warrior has been taken out of the fight. So that's about as good as Babylon Bee could have done in this case. I commend them for even trying.
I think you created another 1,000 of him.
Yeah, I was talking to a lot of people, and I think Charlie would have said something to the effect of, sometimes God uses evil for good. We don't know why, maybe, but he does.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
So I was going to touch on, we were going to originally start on the stabbing. I was going to touch on the stabbing in North Carolina of Irina.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were going to talk about earlier this week.
And how it tied into, what we were talking about last week with crime stats and violence and all this other stuff. Well, I guess we can still kind of touch on that because it was the topic of Charlie's last post on X.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, if we want things to change, it's 100% necessary to politicize the senseless murder of Irina. How do you pronounce her last name?
Zarutska.
I'll leave it to the professionals. The murder of Irina, because it was politics that allowed a savage monster with 14 priors to be free on the streets to kill her. Thank you, Charlie. That's why they hated him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he just spoke truth.
He did.
And he was very good at, I guess, bringing people to the table.
He did something I could never do.
Yeah. Sit there and actually talk to them without, me personally, I'll say this. I wasn't a big fan of Charlie Kirk until recently. I guess
we talked about him years ago, I remember.
Yeah. Maybe the last 6 months, I more of his stuff started coming up on my YouTube feed, and I admired the way he spoke to people, argued with people, never losing control. Even with lunatics, he wouldn't lose control. It was really something special.
Yeah, something. That's what I admired him for. I can't do that. I try. I can to a certain extent, but I've seen some of his videos for moments. But I've seen some of the. I mean, I watched one the other day. A guy dressed as basically the devil. I mean, all red, got this hood or mask of like some like the horse's head or dead horse's head or something like that, chanting satanic stuff into the mic, and he just went. I mean, he didn't tell him to get out of here. He said, "What's your question? What's your question? Give me a question. Was that a question? I don't hear a question." And with a smile on his face, laughing along with a lot of the people that were there.
He had this ability to ease the tension between everybody.
Yeah. So, what keeps coming to my mind is speech is violence. That's what I'm told. I'm told there's a war on trans. There's a war on a threat to trans. When you speak what you believe, when Charlie spoke what he believed about, they said he was a threat to trans. He was a threat to democracy. He was a threat to gays. Well, can we hear what Charlie had to say about that? Here's a clip from, don't know what school this was, but probably a couple years ago, and a trans girl came up and asked him a question, like, what am I supposed to do? And here was Charlie's response.
I just want to say I'm a transgender male. What age should kids be able to get things like hormone therapy? Because I don't know what's true, what's not.
Tell me, are you comfortable telling me your story?
I've known that since like third grade, and I'm currently 19, almost 20. I've known basically since then. I didn't start going by like a different name until 7th and 8th grade. I just don't know like with the whole medical stuff, like what's true, what's not, what's helpful, because I've heard so many different opinions.
First of all, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to have an opinion that very few people will ever tell you, which is I want you to be very cautious putting drugs into your system in the pursuit of changing your body. Mm-hmm. I instead encourage you to work on what's going on in your brain first. I think what you need first and foremost is just a diagnosis, just someone that is going to listen to what you've gone through, listen to what else is going on. My prayer for you, and again, very few people will say this, I actually want to see you be comfortable in how you were born.
Yeah.
I know that you might not feel that way, but I think that is something that you can achieve. I think that with the right team and the right people, you don't have to wage war on your body. You can learn to love your body.
Yep. Such hate towards trans.
Yeah, that was evil.
Such evil. War on women, Tom. War on women. He hates women. He just wants women barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen. That's all he wants.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, if that's what she wants, sure. If that's what you guys, but when you speak about something like that, or how important the mother is in the home and the mother is in raising children, it's a war on women.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hear what Charlie had to say about marriage and men and women. And here we go.
There's a reason why the dress for the man is the same at a wedding and a funeral, because you're saying goodbye to your previous self. The woman is the icon, the symbol of beauty, almost always in all white, right? Ascendant. The man is usually in black and white, like he's attending somebody's death, because it is his death. No, but think about it. It's the death of the bachelor mindset. It's the death of promiscuity. It's the death of the wandering eye. It's the death of immoral behavior. It's the death of texting girls casually. It's the death of I get to do what I want to do. It's the death of just going to the bar with friends. It's the death of acting like an infant. It's the death of playing video games till 1 a.m. And it's the birth.
I think he goes on to say it's the birth of a new life. Pretty sure I've heard that, the full context.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was horrible. I mean, such a war on women. Well, I think so these are some of the reasons why they hated him, because he was very effective. You can hear it in his voice, that the kindness he had towards people who hated him. And to me, like I said, I looked up to him because he did shit I couldn't do. And I think he was a kind of a, some are saying he's a hero, he's a martyr, all that stuff's true, I think. But to me, he was becoming a spiritual leader. When I would listen to him speak, a lot of what he said. And here's what kind of, I don't know how old this is, but I've seen this a few times. And I'll just get right into it. This is, again, speaking truth.
Spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yeah. So that's Charlie Kirk, as I see him.
Yeah.
So yesterday they had his crew from his radio and podcast show. They did their first show since his assassination. So it was 4 of them on the panel. Jack Posobiec was one of them that I recognize. I recognize a couple of other ones. I can't remember their names because I've seen them on the show before. And they were just, kind of going through stories, and they had mentioned that, Charlie had always been obviously a very religious person, but really didn't talk much about it until he met Erica, his wife. But they also mentioned how Charlie used to dress before Erica. And we've all had, maybe a lot of us have had this experience when you get a good woman in your life who goes, "What? Have you ever looked in the mirror?" And they posted 2 pictures before and after. He had, he was off the shelf, off the rack suits, baggy, way too big on him.
He was young.
In post, yes, but he was young. And then when she came along, she straightened him out. And they mentioned, like, come on, you got it. They mentioned,
I think that happens to most of us.
That's what I meant. That's what they were saying. You can't change. It's not good to go out to try to change some, especially men. But one of the guys said, but definitely you can look for things that you can polish. And that was one of those things. But and then they even mentioned, I think one of the Trump kids had given him a credit to one of their tailors. They're like, look, you're hanging around with us. We got a level of you have to keep up. You got to look the part, man.
Get some new threads. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, so that was good. They did a pretty damn good job. They've got some merch that they just came out with, and they're like, they actually didn't even want to announce it, but they said they've gotten such huge demand, because I've seen this starting to go around. But the one shirt they do have, the one shirt they put up is the shirt he was wearing, the white shirt that said freedom. And I think they're going to put, the years. Yeah,
I took a look at all that stuff yesterday.
Yeah. And the other one is, which I've seen starting to percolate a little bit, at least, is I Am Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And I attempted to watch some of Erica Kirk's. I don't think she took his last name, did she?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she did. Okay, I thought I had seen some that maybe they used her maiden name, but I attempted to watch. I watched some of her comments last night, but I had to keep turning it off and going back in. It was just, I mean, she's amazing to even be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. She has some strong words.
And
I didn't clip anything, so if anybody's curious, you could easily find what she said.
Yeah, basically, look out, because if you thought Turning Point USA was strong, was big, then just wait. It's not going. It's going to be bigger than ever. And Looking in her eyes, yeah, there was no doubt in that. That's for sure. So I think a couple of things before we head to our to the next part of this Charlie Kirk saga. And I just thought, have you heard the comments from the guy who was asking him the question when he was shot?
I read a couple of quotes. I didn't listen to his. He did a post on social media.
Yeah, he's a social media. He has posts. He does TikToks or something, I think.
Right.
He's had a few on Charlie. So he was the one asking the question about trans violence and so on when Charlie was shot. Well, he has one more question for everybody. So I figured I clipped it, and his name's Hunter Kozak. And I mean, no shade on this. I mean, he was just asking a question. If you see the video of him while he's asking the question, I mean, this kid's like freaking. You could see. I'm like, so I'm not like trying to get, he's fine. He just disagreed with Charlie, and he was asking him a question. And what was his point of his question? And then he has another question that I want to make sure we finish for him. We answer it for him. Here you go.
And people have obviously pointed to the irony that the point that I was trying to make is how peaceful the left was right before he got shot. And that only makes sense if we stay peaceful. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I'm on the record for how much I disagree with Charlie Kirk. But like, man, dude, he is still a human being. Have we forgotten that? Are we crazy? Like,
wait, what was that last part? Make sure you hear it.
Human being. Have we forgotten that? Are we crazy? Like,
yes. The answer to your question, Hunter. Yes. Some of you are crazy. Some of all of us are crazy, and this guy was definitely one of them. So, yeah.
What was with the laugh?
You missed the point. Well, uncomfortable laugh? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he meant any disrespect to it, other than yes, crazy. Yes, the left is not peaceful. Your point is not valid any longer, I don't think. And as you said, it only makes sense if we stay too late. So I will move on to the aftermath, I guess. To the ghouls. Would you like to talk about some ghouls, Tom?
Sure. Yeah, there was a lot of them, and a lot of them lost their jobs too.
Yeah, so it's inevitable to have. For some reason, we can't be civil in these. And there's some people that have made some pretty stupid statements, and some of them we're still sticking to them. Where would you like to go with this? Where's the first one you like to see, Tom? How about the guy in, was it Fairview Park?
Fairview Park. I think he was he a council president?
He's council president. And
Kilbane.
Yep. Kilbane comments. Let's see. This is May Lockett from News Channel 5. I got two clips on this, actually, because there's well, you'll see in the second one. But here's a synopsis to what happened.
I said how I honestly felt about something.
Fairview Park residents are upset with their city council president, Michael Kilbane, after a comment he made under a social media post regarding Charlie Kirk's death. Hours after Kirk was shot in the neck at an event at Utah Valley University Wednesday, Kilbane commented, "A lot of good people died today. Charlie Kirk wasn't one of them." Since that comment, he says he's received multiple threats, but he does not regret any of his comments.
I believe he's not a good person. So, I mean, I stand by what I said.
In response to Kilbane's comment, community members took their frustrations to social media, and they're planning a protest for Monday night at the next City Hall meeting in Fairview Park. They're asking the city to remove Kilbane from his role as city council president.
He needs to get out of office.
I think that's probably going to happen because I can only imagine. I don't think you think he's going to show up for Monday's meeting? That's
I don't know.
The day we post the show.
This guy's another level of ghoul.
And it's not the first time. It's not the first time.
Oh,
Here's
I guess I don't know much about his first time.
Yeah. So here's a clip from 19 News. Goes in a little further and has some comments. I kind of cut out the part where they go through the whole explanation of his post and stuff like that. So I did clip some of that out, all of that out. But I think he's going to have an opponent in the next election. Here you go.
Disagreeing is different than saying something so incredibly awful about a man that was killed.
Jimmy Jack has lived in Fairview Park for decades, but couldn't believe what Council President Michael Kilbane said yesterday on Facebook after the death of Charlie Kirk.
I just thought, who is this person? And to find out he's the president of our city council, I can't have that. He's in my district, Ward 5, which absolutely horrified me. I couldn't believe it.
The comment has sparked outrage both online and in person. After followers of the Fairview Park community page learned 19 News was looking for interviews, Jack made his way to City Hall as fast as he could to share his strong reaction.
It went just one step too far.
Many, many steps too far.
Now, this isn't the first time the council president has faced criticism for social media posts. Back in 2023, the city released a statement after Kilbane faced criticism for comments directed toward law enforcement. The statement said in part that his speech is protected by the First Amendment, but don't reflect the views of the city as a whole.
So what was the city's response today? We reached out to every single member of City Council, including Kilbane, as well as the Fairview Park Mayor's office. So far, no one has made themselves available for a statement. The next Fairview Park City Council meeting is set for next Monday at 7 p.m. Jack, alongside many others, plan to be there.
I'm going to make sure that Matt Kilbane is not reelected. Whether I run, whether I support someone who runs.
In Fairview Park, Stephen Hernandez, 19 News.
Shocker. No comment. Shocker. So I think that guy's going to be done. I think Jimmy Jack is pretty fired up, and he's either going to pour some money into it or run himself. Sounds like. Yeah, that's what it said in the report. When he heard we'd be up at the city council or up at City Hall waiting for comments, he ran up there. So good for him. It's this. As ironically, and as everybody keeps bringing up, this really feels like another turning point in our country. No pun intended. And hopefully, it's waking more people up to the fact that you have to be involved, and they can't. If we have a million Charlie Kirks, they can't shoot all of us. So get more involved. What's the next one? We've got. Take your pick, Tom.
I don't see anything in your notes. So
no, I was going off yours. I just pulled. I pulled a couple clips. I pulled those two clips, and then I figured we just talk about the other two because there's one city council or not city council, but
University Heights.
Heights.
Yeah, she was a intervention specialist. She's a teacher. Her name was Joanna Schveder. Schveder, SHVEDER. Yeah, you could find her on Facebook. She's probably locked it by now, but
yep. Oh, but the screen grabs are there. The other one was.
Oh yeah, she wrote, "May you never find rest and always suffer in eternity, Charlie Kirk. That's karma." Good. Teaching your kids.
Yes. Teaching them right now, teaching them to stay off social media because it could come back and bite you.
Her email is j_schveder@chuh.org.
Yes, and no, this is not doxing because this is public information they put up on social media.
Yeah. She was preaching it.
We did not go out and search for their names. They volunteered the information. So, again, there's a lesson. This stuff never goes away. We have another one, I think. Juliette Cartier Tissot.
No, not her. She was posting about Aaron Sharp.
Aaron Sharp.
He was the one of the owners of Lucius Q Barbecue in Cincinnati. It's a pretty popular restaurant down in Cincinnati, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's been kicked out.
Yes.
So somebody posted praying for Charlie Kirk, and he posted good riddance. What a piece of shit. Another good guy there.
And then the barbecue Facebook post says that Aaron Sharp is no longer associated with
Lucius Q.
Yeah, no, he's just Q.
There was another thing that Lucius Q was. Oh, they got kicked out of the stadium, I think, too, because I think they had a spot in the stadium to serve food there. So I think they were kicked out.
Yeah, it says they've terminated the relationship with him, Lucius Q. And Q also operates, by the way, inside Factory 52 in the Norwood area. Factory 52 is saying it's aware of the comments made by an individual business owner, and it does not condone violence or threatening speech in any kind. So, they're backpedaling. They booted his butt out the door. So it sounds like they did what needed to be done to save your business, basically. But it's not just locally. So MSNBC got rid of Matthew Dowd.
Yep, lost his job the next day.
Yep. So he was saying, well, this could be it could be a celebration. I mean, it could be somebody like shooting their gun in the air in celebration. What? But he also said, he said he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is consistently sort of pushing this sort of hate speech. I mean, we just heard it. I mean, geez, could you imagine telling a trans person that you shouldn't be at war with your body? What hate speech? Sort of hate speech, or sort of aimed at certain groups, Dowd said. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which lead to hateful actions. Like threat to democracy, Nazi. Yeah, those hateful words. You can't, we don't need to go anymore into what he said. So it's maybe just a convenient way for MSNBC to get rid of Matthew Dowd. I don't know. He's probably a big salary in there. They're not making a bunch of money, so
I never heard of him, so I don't know.
I've heard of Matthew Dowd before.
He it could have been a convenient firing for MSNBC.
So then we had one that you posted this morning from Mineral Falls, right? Wasn't it Mineral Falls?
I don't know too much about it. That's in your notes.
Oh yeah, it is. I pulled the. Where'd it go? There it is. I pulled the statement from Mineral Falls,
right.
City of Mineral Falls, which states that they're responding to calls and emails from residents and individuals nationwide concerned with social media comments made by a council member regarding the passing of Charlie Kirk. These remarks were made through a personal social media account and were not made through nor on official city social media. They were done alone. They do not reflect the views of the city. Extended their condolences to Kirk family and friends about the horrible events in Utah. Now, I got to find out what the guy's name was, because I apparently didn't grab the post. I thought I had it in my. I know where it's at. Hold on. Live radio. I think I bookmarked it. Let me see. Yeah, here it is.
Max Miller posted this.
Yep, lives at TikTok also. Mineral Falls, Ohio City Council Vice President says, to all you right-wingers out there, I have two things to say to you. Second Amendment and thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
The world is a better place now that he's gone.
What a douche, man.
He needs to resign, and we need to make him as famous as they're hoping they were going to be.
What was his name again?
It is John. Oh my goodness. You're going to ask me? I can't.
I can't find it.
It's John Impellizzeri. It's IMPELLIZZERI. Zempellizzeri? I'm horrible.
Oh, Impellizzeri.
Impellizzeri. There we go. Yeah, Impellizzeri. Yeah. John Impellizzeri. Yep.
Oh, even his picture is creepy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here's his phone number, 216-965-8619. Email is, oh boy, I got to click on it. And I got nothing. What the heck? Oh, there it is. John.A.IMPELLIZZERI@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's basically John, his first and last name at Gmail, right?
Oh, he's got a middle initial in there. A.
Oh, okay. John A. Okay. Yep. And yeah, send him a note. A nice note. Peaceful note. But a note, nevertheless.
Give him a piece of your mind.
Yeah, but peacefully, please. And I think I've seen way too many. I had a couple with this that I posted on X, and how because there's clips of Charlie out there saying, well, in order to have a Second Amendment, there is a level of, there are going to be people who get shot, and there's a certain level that we need to accept because, the way I look at it is with great freedom comes great responsibility. And, in order to be, in order to have free speech, you're going to have to listen to things that you don't like. I think this goes along that, and that's kind of what his thing was. Yes, there is a level of death that you have to accept with having a free society. Like with complete government control, you could be a lot safer, but you can't. You're not free, so you have a choice. I think was kind of his point to a lot of this. I'm sure I completely butchered it, but that's fine. And I think this is when I kind of flipped from anger to acceptance, maybe, whatever the steps are. Because my response was, I did this numerous times. My response was, yes. Charlie, is it worth it? Was the question I saw a lot. And my response is yes. I think Charlie would smile down upon you and say, yes, even more so now. Even more so now. Whew. Okay. So I think we can wrap this up, right? You good? We can start wrapping this up. I think a good way to wrap it up is, I don't know if you saw the Utah governor's press conference announcing the apprehension of the killer. So
Pardon me?
A lot of
say that again?
The press conference from the Utah governor when they apprehended the killer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see part of that or all of that or any of that?
Parts of it. I don't know. I don't think I heard everything the mayor said.
Sure. Yeah. I wanted to wrap with something. Well, you'll see what I'm saying. But this is the end of his conference. I pulled this part because I'm sure most people didn't go this far through it. He has some final kind of closing words, and I think it's pretty touching since we're all pretty angry, upset, sad. And this guy did a hell of a job. I don't know anything about this guy, but he did a hell of a job through his whole thing and still continues to. Leadership through crisis is what I saw. So here we go. This is Governor Spencer Cox from Utah. This was part of his closing remarks from yesterday.
Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much.
Love that.
A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different.
Yeah. Do something different. Don't become them. We cannot become them. We must fight, but we cannot become them.
So what do you think? Do you think this is the start of something or the end of something? As far as the Discord.
I really hope it's the start of something. But
you want more? Or like, do you think this assassination will cause more lunatics to get out there and try something similar? Or do you think this woke up too many people to reach that point, I should say?
I think it woke up the youth.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, but what about the lunatics?
I think there's lunatics on both sides, and I'm pretty worried. Yeah. I think if you wanted to incite violence and chaos in our society from the right, this was this was the guy. If it's not going to be Trump, well, by the way, they tried 3 times on Trump. And from what I can see, if you exclude the cabinet members and family, I think Charlie Kirk was probably the closest advisor to the president.
Perhaps one of the closest.
At least one of them, besides his family and any cabinet members.
I think the scariest part of this was that this wasn't a politician. You know, like Trump, the attempt on Trump's life, I wouldn't say I was expecting it, kind of. But that one didn't really shock me to the core like this one did.
Yeah, I haven't felt this way since 9/11.
Yeah, kind of
like the days after 9/11.
It was kind of it was just shocking because he really didn't say anything. He was about middle of the road as you can get. Like, really, I mean, he was just your typical middle of the road conservative. Maybe a little on the right, a little bit more on the right as far as centrist goes, but not far right, nowhere near it.
For sure. I like I said, to me, he was becoming a spiritual leader because he was preaching to a lot of these kids who were hurting, who were confused.
Right. It seems like he was going toward Catholicism also.
Yeah, it was very. Oh yeah, and I've heard some say, conservative activist. I'd say civil rights activist.
Right.
Of our day, he may be the biggest one of our day. And
I think this is as big as Martin MLK, Martin Luther King. As far as
I agree with you, but those are, yeah.
No, I know, but this is as big of a
story
or a bell rung.
Yes, because remember, if people don't remember, because I always got to remind myself, and history flies past us, but in order to be in Martin Luther King's movement, you had to sign whatever you call it, a pledge. That's it, of nonviolence.
Right,
and that's what won them. That's what won the civil rights. Is the videos of black people getting hosed by cops and not doing a damn thing about it. If they would have fought back, they would have lost. That's what we need to do. We need to fight back, but not with our fists or anything else. We need to fight back the way Charlie fought back. With kindness. Yeah, it really sucks. Sucks to freaking say that. How the hell 3 days after they just shot him in front of his family? But we got to stop. Do we want to tear the country apart? I think that's what a lot of people want, whether it's a foreign or domestic. They want us to tear each other apart. We can't let them win. That's you asked me the question. I really hope, but I have a feeling we're going to see. We're probably. Is it our darkest hour? I hope so. I'm not sure I'm really that confident yet. Especially with social media.
Yeah. Social media has been good for people.
Yeah, so good for people. What do you what's your feeling? You think it's going to get worse or better?
I don't think it's going to get better.
I have a friend who I was texting with, along with you and a couple other people when this was all going on. I was kind of feeding her the information as I was getting it. She was feeding me some information. I mean, she was sitting around with her some of her family kids who were just out of college. Just bawling because, her daughter just out of college. So was she like 25, 26, 27?
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge part of college campus for her and for a lot of people at the college she went to. The whole point was is they decided to, another daughter who also was pretty upset about, they're awaiting their first child and they're going to name it Charlie.
Wow. I had a similar, a guy I work with, he's conservative. He's political, but not super crazy political. He has kids, 14. I would say his youngest is I think around 6 or 7, and oldest around 14, 4 kids.
Yeah.
And they were all crying. And it shocked me when he told me that.
Wow. I think part of it is I couldn't, the videos just popped on my phone. Like we're talking about social media. It just popped on I almost couldn't stop it if I wanted to. It was so fast sometimes. Oh, what's this video? Oh, I saw the video from far away. And then, a few minutes later, somebody posted a close up. I think that's part of my issue is I just can't get that out of my head.
Oh yeah, I wish I didn't see it.
Yeah, I wish I could have. That's what I sent. People were saying, "Well, he's alive, and I said, "I hope so." But if you like, I could send you the close up video, and it probably would put some doubts in your mind because if you know anything about it, it didn't look good from the start. So anyway,
yeah, I don't think it's going to get better in the short term. I think it'll get better in the good always prevails.
And it's always darkest before the dawn, as they say. And I just wanted to say, I do not think President Trump wins. It's a very good chance he does not win the last election without Charlie Kirk.
Oh, 95%, I would say.
Almost. I mean, TPUSA is bigger than the RNC conference.
It took over the RNC. It was going to be that was going to be the next RNC, I guess.
And
I don't know.
And it will be, I think.
Yeah.
They also said in the show that Charlie had a unique, he had a knack for picking the people who can handle the job that he picked, that he had for them. And one of the reasons he picked Erica was because he knew she was strong and that she could handle the life that he was building, which is on the move, sacrifice, the threats, the violence, the attacks that he had on him, the negativity. He knew she can handle it. And from what I saw last night, I think he was spot on that. I think the movement, the program, the organization is in good hands.
America Fest will happen in December, she says.
Yes, and it will be bigger. Oh, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. If you got a favorite video, Charlie, a story, shoot us an email. Send us a link on X. Where can you find all the information? crookedrivercast.com. You can go there, get all the ways to contact us, email, X account, and whatever else we end up putting up there. And you could also get blog posts for the show. You get links, all the kind of all the stories we were looking at that are in our notes. You'll be able to see them shortly following the posting of the show. If you want to check that out, crookedrivercast.com. Subscribe, write a review, tell your friends. crookedrivercast.com. I think we need a comedic break here. What do you think, Tom?
I think we need to change gears.
How about? I got two ways we can go. Should we go? I think we're going to go with a tested and tried and true. Well, we have an ad break.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a sponsor. Just kidding. We really don't. But I wouldn't want to misrepresent it. But we probably don't want this as a sponsor unless it was from back in the 80s when this. But I tested, tried and true. I'm going to continue on with my
teasing me.
Real men of genius. What could it be this time, Tom? We'll find out.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. All-You-Can-Eat Buffet Inventor.
Mr. All-You-Can-Eat Buffet Inventor.
You've given us the real American dream. A tray, 15 feet of food, and a little sign that says, "Go nuts, buddy."
Pinch me, I'm dreaming.
Pushing side dish innovation to its limits, you offer creamed everything and 400 flavors of gelatin.
Feed it frenzy.
If there's beef, you'll chip it. If there's chicken, you'll fry it. And if there's gravy, well, then everything's going to be okay.
Thank God for the gravy.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, buffet boy. You know the way to a man's heart and a few hundred tasty ways to challenge it.
Mr. All-You-Can-Eat Buffet Inventor.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, Fort Collins, Colorado.
And a couple hundred tasty ways to challenge heart. like it says in the commercial, people, we've got gravy, so everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I think we're going to do we're back-to-back comedic break for today's show. And here's what I want from our listeners and you, Tom. If you could fire up, if you're not driving or riding your bike or doing anything like that, if you can look at a screen, I need everybody to Google search aerial saw. Actually,
saw as an SAW?
Aerial SAW. Actually, you know what? I'll actually put I should have put this in the notes, but here, I put it in the notes, Tom.
Yeah, is that the thing that trims the trees?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Check this thing out, man. Check this thing out. This is on the list of something every guy needs. Yes. Let's hear it from First Energy on the aerial saw.
There's a few reasons we use the aerial saw. It helps trim back the branches that are encroaching our right of way. It's a little bit faster than a regular tree crew or a bucket crew could do. It gets about 10 to 12 miles a week compared to a bucket or tree crew might get a mile. Also, we use it in areas where you can't get men or equipment to. Hilly terrain, it's too dangerous for people to get in, so we drop the saw in there and they'll continue to trim them that way. But we use a company called Area Solutions. They use a helicopter, and suspended from the helicopter is an engine with about 15 to 16 24-inch blades that are they're rotary blades. And the helicopter slowly goes down the right of way about 3 or 4 miles an hour and trims the trees. The aerial saw is very safe. You're not exposing workers to the climbing in the trees, working out of buckets, working with the chainsaw. You're exposing a helicopter pilot that's actually operating the saw
unless
from above,
you're a hiker.
So he's not even in contact with the saws, and he's just going down the right of way trimming.
This thing is the coolest looking thing. So aerial saw. Go ahead.
I saw that thing like a few months ago on like Instagram or something. I was like, oh my God, I want one of those.
So everybody can picture it because you can't see the video. But if you've ever driven down the freeway, especially like for me, I always notice it when I'm going through like Virginia and the mountains and stuff. And all of a sudden you see this, like somebody took a pair of clippers and just trimmed all the trees and they put power lines there. Well, this is what they use to keep those trees trimmed back. And what they do is they hang this massive chainsaw. It's not even a chainsaw; it's a rotary saw.
It has to be like 10 foot of blade.
They're 24-inch blades, and there's 15 to 20 on them.
Okay, I see. All right.
Cut limbs up to 10 inches in diameter. And it's a perfect. Listen to this; is so cool. So the helicopter's rotors push the limbs straight. They push the limbs down, like to flatten them out, and then it comes.
Okay.
Zips
I was wondering how they get it so clean because, man, it goes down next to the power lines. And I'm like, man, that's just such a beautiful cut.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. You know, they should just fly this thing over to California and clean up all those power lines that are going through the mountains there so there's no more fires.
Yeah. And that there's, they're saying it's a little quicker. It's a little quicker.
A little?
It's only 10 times quicker. They get 10 times more done or more. Normally guys will get 1 mile a week. This does like 10 to 11 miles a week. Like, yeah. And then in some areas you can't even get to. I mean, there's mountainous areas and stuff like that.
There was a guy on a bucket trimming my tree out front by the power lines and hacked my tree up.
But much cooler with the aerial saw.
I would have been out there with my photography gear going, oh my God, this is awesome.
So it says here, ground crews also monitor nearby traffic, flagging and stopping motorists as needed to ensure safety.
You don't want that 10-inch branch landing on your car.
Well, could you imagine that? Hey, honey, look at this clearing of, whoa! Mm-hmm. There comes the aerial saw zipping in front of you. Yeah, I'm sure that,
it's not like that, but
no, it's not like that. But I saw that and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I want
what's
one.
Cool. It's from what I saw was if the tree's already trimmed, if you're just doing this every couple of years, there's not many big branches. It's just doing it's almost like taking your hedge clippers and just trimming your hedges,
Yeah, they actually said, the aircraft is operated by Aerial Solutions that they said in the clip. And here it is. The tree trimming effort builds on the company's use of light detection and ranging, which is LiDAR technology, which deploys helicopter-mounted lasers to create 3D maps of vegetation among more than 7,000 miles of transmission lines. So they run a copter down there and takes pictures of everything, and then it tells them where to go.
Gotcha. Cool.
Technology, man.
Yeah.
So somewhere your electric bill goes to trimming trees. I could definitely use one in my yard. I've got a tree. It's not even my tree. It's my neighbor's tree. And it's literally, I would bet if you lined up the power lines that run between our back of our property, the tree is growing directly underneath the power line. I don't think you can get any more perfect. And I got to call them. They got to cut it because it's eventually going to take the power line out.
Right.
One way or the other. Because I think that's how we started the great power outage of, was it early 2000s?
That was like 2003, 4?
Yeah. 3. I think it was 3. I think you're right. And that was because, from my understanding, a power line touched another power line, or a branch touched 2 power lines, or
something like that.
And it shorted everything out and caused blah, blah, blah. So
the whole Northeast.
Yeah.
From New York to Southern Ohio almost? Or something like that. I forget.
Basically, I don't know, it was like Kentucky, West Virginia. I mean, the whole corner of the United States was out.
Yeah, it was.
If you remember what the map looked, or the satellite imagery, it's crazy. But yeah, that was part of it. Is lack of tree trimming.
It was kind of neat though. I had no power. It only lasted. I think it lasted 3 days for me. But my neighbor right next door to me didn't have power for, I think it was 7 days. Yeah, it was weird how that worked out.
Okay. Yeah, I was working in the field, in construction, and yeah, it was weird because I could technically work if I was in the right area, because if you had enough natural light, I could still work. I remember my boss, like, "Oh, we can still." I'm like, "No, too dark. It's too dark."
Yeah, I definitely had, I think, 3 days off, and
that makes sense.
It was kind of warm too, and there was no AC, so it was
that was
kind of like, man, that's the one thing I missed.
That was the only bad part. It was a little warm. I remember it going out and driving home. I was out west, kind of towards Sandusky, and I had to make our way back with no street light, no lights, or anything. It was a mess. Everybody was freaking out. What's going on? But yeah, so yeah, the aerial saw. Go get one at your nearest Ace Hardware. You probably don't have it in stock. You'll have to order it in. All right.
It's back ordered for 2 weeks.
Yes, definitely. Now that we announced it on the Crooked Rivercast, demand is shot through the roof. So after that palate cleansing, let's move on to something, I don't know, a lot of these stories I pulled early in the week. I wasn't even sure if we'd get to them, but like I said, the show must go on, and we're going to continue doing what we do. Next story is Cleveland State University has seen a dip in enrollment, and it's unique because from what they're saying, the dip in enrollment is because of a sudden loss of international students.
They've been having a dip in enrollment for the last 4 or 5 years, haven't they?
Yes, but there's a decrease from fall of 2024 of 1,400 students, representing 41% drop from the previous year of international students. So by looking at this data, I would have to assume to some extent that a large portion of Cleveland State's international student body was illegal to some level. No, right?
I would say a portion of them. Yeah.
Not all 41%. Some may have just decided not to come, go change schools, whatever. But a large, I would say more than a quarter possibly could have been illegal we're not talking necessarily people who snuck across the border, but we could be talking about people who overstayed their visa. And
that's what I'm thinking.
A lot of it is that way. They overstayed their visa, didn't renew it. And for years, I'm sure this has been this way. Cleveland State just ignored it because, well, I'm sure at some level there is some political reason to that, but really it's also a business too.
It's money. Yeah.
It's money. And so they're seeing contributing factors. Of course, the story I have, and I like to call them out whenever I can, is Cleveland.com. And there really is no story because they gave me 3 sentences and they want me to pay for their site, which, nope, not going to do.
I think that was, you're looking at Cranes.
Was it Cranes?
Yeah.
You're right, it is Cranes. Sorry.
Yeah, I never look at them because you need a subscription and it's mostly business-based. But
that's a good point because it's even less than what Cleveland.com gives you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cleveland.com. But
no, they suck too.
Yeah, it still holds true because a lot of times most of their big stories are clipped and And the funny thing about the internet is I just go start searching for it. I can find it elsewhere. So it's that's kind of the whole problem I see with it. It's like, right. you can't bottle this up for the most part. I get cranes and those kind of things that there is
cranes should be
there's a monetary thing to that.
Yeah.
But this story, there should be some free stuff. This is not a story that you would pay for, I don't think. So contributing factors that I looked up online on Google, and they did a little AI search. The rules have led, Trump era visa rules is one of the main factors. They're saying these rules have led to longer wait times, higher denial rates, and new restrictions for international students, impacting CSU's global partners. Ongoing situation has added, global events says ongoing situations have added to the challenge for international students, student requirements. And then to your point, which I think this is a lot to do with their overall flat enrollment or down, is broader trends. They're saying the university is also facing a dwindling number of high school student graduates, a factor that has been impacting enrollment for years.
Oh, I think colleges are.
Kids.
I think colleges are up a creek because the population decline.
Yes, and they are calling it a. I thought it was in this. Well, not damn. See, that changes everyone. They're calling it a enrollment cliff. They're about to hit.
It's going to happen to homes too.
It's starting right now. Yes, it's starting right now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. And there's going to be a lot of. I think there's going to be a lot of colleges that close because we've got a lot of colleges. I mean, there's a lot of colleges. One of them that just closed was Notre Dame over in east side of Cleveland. Where are they at? South Euclid or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they closed last year.
Yeah.
The enrollment was way down. They couldn't. And I think they even closed with a bunch of debt too or something. I remember reading an article.
Well, how the hell is a college in debt?
Well, if your enrollment's under what your basic needs are, I guess for a certain amount of time, you got, I guess you're trying to float it to see if you can come back and you start borrowing money.
Oh yeah, okay.
That'd be my guess. I don't know, but yeah,
there's a trend. I mean, I forget what the exact numbers are, but you had 60 or 80 million boomers, and then 60 million Gen Xers, and 40 million millennials and Gen Zers, and the next generation isn't looking too Gen Alpha isn't looking too large. The Gen Zers really need to get going. Go meet a girl. Make a family.
Make babies. We need people. We need bodies. We need babies.
I won't be here, but your kids will be here, and if there's not enough people, things aren't going to look good.
No, America's not going to be the same if things don't change when they're my age. Yeah, looking forward. Yeah, so both Baldwin Wallace and Cleveland State have announced cuts to staff because they both have at best flat enrollment. Flat. Baldwin Wallace is down about 1,000 students.
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, that's compared to 5 years ago.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a sharper decline over the next decade.
Yes. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I think they said within the next couple of years, they're going to hit that enrollment cliff, and it's just going to fall off.
All right.
It's just starting to, the sheep are just starting to jump. I keep thinking the sheep jumping off the cliff for some reason.
There's that too. And more and more people are realizing that college is a waste of money.
So yes, my work involves me in the trades, and I don't understand the amount of construction just in the Columbus area. And if you look at the unemployment rates in the state, they are the highest around Columbus, and Columbus is booming, like screaming for labor. They can't get it. So the trades are becoming more and more apparent and more of a choice. And my favorite person on that is Mike Rowe from Mike Rowe Works, Dirty Jobs guy.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for 10 or 15 years. I've been watching more of him, and he's saying it is catching on. It is becoming a bigger thing. They gave out a record over $5 million in scholarships last year.
Cool.
And these are small. They don't give out $50,000 scholarships. You get like $8,000 to go to a trade school. This kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you got to sign a sweat pledge.
You can go to one of those schools and not have any debt and come out and making six figures.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe not. You're not going to get it right away, but you're going to get it pretty quickly because there's nobody that wants to do it.
You can get out of a trade school. What
was that? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I say you get out of a trade school and easily be making $20 an hour plus.
Wait, it was $20 an hour.
Entry level. I meant like get out of school. First job will be $20 some an hour.
Yeah, that easily. Just don't become a machinist because that's not realistic. But as far as like welding, plumbing, carpentry,
electrical, all of it,
all that, man, go out and I was going to say, families, teach your boys to be men. Come on, we've got too many softies out there that all they do is play video games and.
Don't make me go get another Charlie Cook clip because I have one of them on that too, but I'll stay away from it. But yeah, I mean that they want to be challenged. Men, they need
lift the heaviest thing in the room and move it.
Mm-hmm. So we'll keep an eye out for that enrollment cliff. Oh no, enrollment cliff. I wish I had echo. It would have been perfect.
It's going to be, it's going to be fascinating to me to see what happens to these colleges, how they try to maneuver the
the lack of students, the lack of children.
I can't think of the word right now. I'm still thinking of Charlie Kirk. Damn it.
Yeah. Sorry, back up. I think. Good.
I was just going to say they're going to have to navigate the decline of people, and it's going to be interesting on how they do that. Are they going to are colleges going to buy out other colleges? I don't know how this works. Are they going to like try to combine things into one building?
That's what Cleveland State's doing.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're selling buildings. They're trying to sell the Wolstein Center. That thing's old, and they haven't been putting any money into it in the last 10 years. It's got millions and millions of dollars of deferred maintenance, so that basically needs to be torn down unless somebody wants to put a huge investment into a 30-year-old building. But I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, I guess. Well, that's what I was going to say. Hurry up, please. Can we speed this up? Because I really could use a discounted rate on college in the next 3 years. When my daughter starts looking in a couple years, if not sooner. But yeah, I could use because I think you might be right. There's going to be some acquisitions. For example, if anyone wants to get really disgusted at the college, our college education system, higher education system, do a search for college endowments. And what you probably find is a Wikipedia with a spreadsheet of all the public universities and private. But for public universities, say Ohio, I think last time I checked was probably more than a year ago. Ohio State University had over $5 billion in endowments sitting in investments in the bank.
The average one is 1.3 billion.
Harvard and those in Yale, I think Harvard was over 40 billion. And I did not make a mistake and say million. It's $1 billion.
Yeah, I know.
So this is what is an endowment? So when people donate either estate or money and they don't use it all, it goes into an endowment fund, and then they use it to build buildings. And that's why Ohio State they build something every year, if not.
Why is tuition so high?
Yeah, why is it $60,000 to go to Ohio State? Take $500 million. And for the next 5 to 10 years, you can pay for every student's tuition. And you'd still have money left over, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. Anyway.
Well, I think government getting involved in loans caused.
Yeah, turns out when you can guarantee to get loans, and it really doesn't matter how much they are, they tend to go up like 300%, 400%, 500% over a 10-year period. Weird how that works.
And you can't bankrupt it.
Right. And yeah, you can't. You're stuck. They'll forgive you of everything but a student loan.
You get that fine arts degree and you're paying for that for a long time while you're serving coffee at your favorite Starbucks.
Oh yeah. your liberal arts degree. All right. Moving along. These next two stories are actually kind of the same, kind of linked together. Really not about the stories as much as kind of, I don't know, 30,000 foot view maybe. So Cleveland police are underreporting homicides in Cleveland.
No.
In 2024. I know. Shocker. Breaking. And looks like Cleveland.com is one of the ones who found it, which is another shocker. Can't believe it. Actually, that's the breaking news. Cleveland.com did some reporting. The department reported, Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Police Department reported it had 114 homicides in city data, but listed 110 to the FBI annual crime report. I'm like, well, it's only 4. That's like 2 or 3%. But, however, the article says, a review by Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer showed 126 homicides in the city. Depending on the way the incidents were counted. So they are saying that number excludes a killing in the city that was investigated by Cleveland Metro Parks Police and 3 other shootings from prior years where the victim had died in 2024. One of those deaths happened 40 years after the victim was shot. So I say that because I kind of went. So somebody got shot 40 years ago and they died and they counted as in any way as a shooting victim. That's they excluded it, but they're saying it came up in in their results was a person that got shot 40 years ago. Like, how does that even come up?
It made no sense when I read that.
Like, that's kind of why I bring it up, because it bounced around my head for a while and I was like, ouch, that hurts. So they're saying basically the Cleveland police aren't reporting it. So it's kind of what we've talked about in the last couple of shows with, JD Vance was talking about violence in the cities and crime is down. Crime is down. Why does Trump want to send troops into DC? Why does he want to send them in Chicago and so on and so forth? It all depends on how you count it. And I don't see why, or I don't even remember. I read this and they don't really come up with. Yeah, even if this is so it depends on how you categorize it, how the medical examiner categorizes it, and it doesn't automatically qualify as criminal, is what they're saying. That's their excuse. So I guess
oftentimes it's clerical mistakes, and I'm putting quotes around clerical.
Quotes, yeah.
I think it's I think they do it on purpose.
Yeah. They do not indicate a larger pattern or compromise a small amount of overall crimes and homicides. Yeah. Okay. So in the last 10 years, homicides peaked in 2020 when Cleveland saw 190 killings, a 41% increase from the prior year. Medical examiner data shows homicides have been decreasing since then, dropping to pre-COVID levels in 2024, according to the data from medical examiner's office. Has it? We don't actually know, and I don't trust it. So
I think it's been declining. I think there was a spike in 2020 and 2021 because of the situation we were all in.
Yep.
And I think it's back down to pre-COVID levels, like they're saying. But I think in the meantime, they've changed the definition of a couple things. So is it totally down? I think it's getting closer to what it was before COVID. And
right,
in 2013, it was pretty. It was down. We had 55 homicides. I think I saw that. So it was climbing from 2013 to 2019, and then a big spike in 2020, 21, and now it's starting to kind of come back down. But how much they changed the process of reporting it is in question.
And even taking the stats at face value, going to 2019 levels isn't great.
No,
it's improving. No. It doesn't mean crime is great. No, crime is still bad. The murders are still up.
Yeah.
That's
but
like you said, on the increase.
like the mayor spins it like it's getting like it's our crime stats are getting much better, and it's like, well, I don't know, not from a long time ago, not
Right.
from 2013. It's awful.
Right now, if we continue to see a drop and it continues to go down, okay. But I'm also going to call out BS because playing with the numbers.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing with the numbers, I like I said, I tied these two together because it's kind of how do they categorize this kind of stuff. And this is a story from 19 News about Cleveland shuts down quote unquote nuisance bar in the Flats, and it was Play Bar and Grill in the Flats, and they had a shooting last weekend for the weekend of the Browns home opener, and they apparently were overcrowded. The fire marshal had come by to shut them down. According to the owner, that's what they wanted. They wanted to get people out because it was just way too crowded. And then as people exited, a shooting occurred outside. Just to cover the story real quick, this is the third shooting in the last couple months. They had one on August 18th, a fight reported inside the bar, not a shooting. July 5th, there was a report of shooting inside the bar, and on June 6th, reported a patron in a Play Bar and Grill was pulled a gun on valet. So the city boarded it up, and basically is the developers pulled their lease, and they're shutting it down. But what I took from this story is they consider this a mass shooting. Do you consider this a mass shooting, Tom? When you hear mass shootings are up, what do you think of? Because I know what I think of. It's not this.
No, well, I mean, in today's world, I think of a school shooting or like something that happened in
Vegas.
Vegas, something like that. But when you look up the definition of mass shooting, the media has a different definition than the FBI.
Right. A lot of times you can look at the motive, like, the motive of the Vegas shooter was. Anyway, never mind. We don't want to bring that up because we don't know. And to me, like they're categorizing murders, whether they're criminal or not criminal, and putting them in a certain category, and it affects stats. So does what they consider a mass shooting. So let's say hypothetically, you had somebody on campus debating debating students. I shouldn't say kids, students, and somebody walked up and decided to try to shoot at said speaker. And then somebody else pulled their gun to try to shoot that guy, and they got in a fight and 3 people got shot. That's a mass shooting.
Right. But that's a definition by the media.
Yeah, it's anybody who gets shot, any shooting of X amount of people or more. Like 3, I think it's 3 or 4 people or more considered a mass shooting.
Okay, so
is that right?
The media often claims that if there's somebody injured and 1 dead, that's a mass shooting. If there's a number like 3 or 4 injured and 1 dead is a mass shooting. But the definition of mass shooting is actually a mass shooting is an incident of targeted violence carried out by 1 or more shooters at 1 or more public or populated locations. Multiple victims, both injured and fatalities, are associated with the attack, and both the victim and locations are chosen either at random or for their symbolic value. The event occurs within a single 24-hour period, though most attacks typically only last a few minutes. The motivation of the shooting must not correlate with gang violence or targeted militant or terroristic activity. So that's like the official. I think FBI adds that there has to be 3 people killed. Basically, the same definition.
This is gang violence.
This was what we saw was gang violence. Yeah, but the media has their own definition. I was going through a couple websites. I think if you go to Britannica, it kind of explains that. I'm on the Rockefeller Institute of Government right now. There's usafacts.org also kind of explains some of this stuff, but it's the media really spins it.
Yeah, so you really got to be careful. When they say, "Oh, there's been 400 mass shootings," it's only June. Like,
Yeah, I think they were saying there was only over 500 already or over 400, and it's only, for 2025. And if you go to the Rockefeller Institute of Government mass shooting fact sheet, their last updated September 8th, 2025, since 1966, there's been 502.
Since 1966?
Yeah.
Same thing with school shootings. For example, this way to explain to me, it's 1:30 in the morning and two cop cars are chasing a car full of kids. And they eventually, for whatever reason, get the kids. They spin the car out, and the kids go running down the street and go into a school property. There's a shootout between the cops and the kids, but assailants, whatever you want to call them. There's a shootout in the school parking lot. That would be considered a school shooting,
right?
If they had a shooting, and some have told me that in a lot of cases, if there's a shooting down the street and a bullet hits the school, it's a school shooting,
right? If they find a bullet,
which to me actually makes sense because you actually shot the school, so it's a school shooting.
But it's a this is all kind of if you ask me when I was finding the definition for mass shooting, and that the FBI, the official definition, and the media's definition of mass shootings are all different. It doesn't make sense, but it's convenient for politicians.
Yes,
because they'll just use the media's, and it was never like that before.
No,
media. I think the media just used the FBI's definition,
right?
And I would say, it wasn't convenient. It wasn't convenient because there's not a crazy amount of them.
Right now, you can create all these groups with these great, very sophisticated and important looking names for the media,
right?
To pull the study by the blah 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 Center for Prosperity and Kindness and Love says there's 9,000 shootings. It's like great strategy actually.
It is, because people don't look into it, so that's why we're here.
Yep, that's why you go past the headlines and dig a little deeper, and it's amazing what you can find. Just want to. That's kind of the things.
So a drive-by is a mass shooting, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If more than a couple people get shot. Yeah.
According to media. Yeah.
And it depends. There's some would consider that gang violence, and it won't be. If FBI would, that'd be gang violence, so it wouldn't be in there.
Most likely.
Or there'd be two stats: mass shootings including gang violence, mass shootings without gang violence. All right. So, since there's 15 different examples or definitions, tell us your favorite definition of a mass shooting. crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Check out our website, share the show. If you're on Apple Podcasts, give us a review. Can you leave us a review, please? Just like your local enterprise or rental place, we only accept 5-star reviews. So anything under that, just don't even bother. No, all joking aside, we really appreciate everybody who listens, and we just want you to share it with anybody you like, anybody you think could learn from the show or benefit from it. And we also want your feedback to help us with the show. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us what we're missing. Tell us what you like. crookedrivercast.com. All right. Enough of the plugs. Next is an interesting story I thought we would talk about, which is the Cloverleaf schools seek to cut taxes, although Ohio legislature's action could affect that. And I got a clip here from the idea stream. Hear it? Here we go.
Property values are set to increase in Medina County, but Cloverleaf schools are looking to cut property taxes this fall. However, this all depends on the Ohio legislature. I'm Connor Morris with IdeaStream Public Media.
Gay.
The district says it will cut the taxes it's levying by half, with the hope of holding taxes flat despite a property reappraisal this year.
Half.
Superintendent Daryl Kabilis says the district won't be able to cut taxes if the legislature cuts school funding.
I share that I want to help with the property tax burden, but some of these are just so draconian.
Oh my
This fall, the legislature could override several of Governor DeWine's vetoes in the state budget, which protected schools' ability to levy taxes. Kabila says despite that, Cloverleaf is in a good position due to revenue from the Nexus gas pipeline and property values increasing recently. Connor Morris, IdeaStream Public Media.
So you don't need the money, or so if they cap the carryover to 40%, or if they allow your county auditor to lower the millage on a levy, that's what you're talking about, draconian measures? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about my testosterone level dropping after listening to Connor Morris.
Connor Morris, baby. Well, yeah, I mean, the idea stream. What are you going to do? I think the math doesn't line up for me, though. You want to cut taxes or funding to the school, whatever levy that is, by 50%, by half, because you have so much money. But if you put a few restrictions on, it's just, I mean, it's all over with. You're not going to have enough money. I don't get it. If you've got twice as much money, or 50% more, or whatever you want to call it, than you need, then I guess the restrictions they want to put on you are kind of valid, aren't they? Kind of makes sense. Kind of proving the point, aren't you? How many other school districts are like, they could cut it by 30%?
All of them.
Yes, that's the point. Is like you kind of prove the point of why the state legislature needs to put caps on some of this stuff, because a lot of school districts are flush with cash, including Cloverleaf school districts.
Cloverleaf is Medina? Is that what it is?
Is it in the Medina?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
That's like one of those really really good school districts.
Yeah, Cloverleaf. Is
Medina County Auditor.
Yeah, Medina. Yep. There it is.
Yeah, it's in the county of Medina, I think the Cloverleaf is like one of those. That school district, I think, is one of the more, let's say, pardon me,
affluent.
More of the people want to move there for the school system. You know,
I'm on the Cloverleaf Schools website right now, and that is a damn fine looking school.
Let me check
nice
that
and
out.
shiny. I mean, they have a flyover. That thing's got to be 5 years. I mean, that's what they want to build everywhere, because, well, of course you need new schools, because Harvard, you can't, Harvard always tears their buildings down and builds new ones, because you can't learn in an old building. Oh wait, no, they don't do that.
Yeah, this is the one I drive by once in a while. I mean, this is like a major complex.
Yeah, it's
campus for high school, and I think middle school is in there too.
That's been the trend. They've been trying to do like a campus thing where
it's even got elementary.
There, all of them on one. Depending on the size of your district, a lot of times you can do just one or two locations for all of the schools in one.
It's been there for a while from memory, but it just keeps growing. So it is I think that area, to live in that area, that it's not cheap to buy a house, because they just go quick. It's a great school district. I think it's high in demand.
Just want to point out again, a lot of the private high schools, you pay tens of thousands of dollars to send your kid to a building that's been there 60 or 70 years.
Right.
So don't need a brand new shiny building. Obviously, if you're growing, and like this community is, I see why. But in a lot of communities, they're trying to tear down old schools for like.
Well, this was like rural, so
Sure.
they had to do something.
Yeah, that's not the same. I'm not saying that they did this. I just, in a lot of areas where, up in Cleveland, especially, like we talked about before, Cleveland's basically gone through and built all new schools.
Yeah, that was probably not necessary.
And I'm thinking, still hasn't really helped.
Mm-hmm.
Still hasn't really helped. Doesn't make the kid, just because the school's new and shiny, doesn't make the kids want to go there anymore. It's the parents that do that. Here's a clue. Shocker. Parents.
Good teachers, good parents.
Yeah. Yeah, good teachers, good parents. That's true. I think we'll see what's going to happen. We'll see if they end up cutting it. I guess they were saying it all depends on if they can override the vetoes. again, more propaganda to keep you from signing that petition to eliminate property taxes, because we're doing something. Look. All right, we got one more on my list, and a couple things on this story. So here's a headline: NASA Glenn picked to help develop nuclear power for the moon. So I thought, well, this is interesting, because originally I'm thinking, wow, don't you remember the NASA apocalypse we covered a couple months ago?
I think the moon is a nuclear plant already. It's a spaceship. It's hollow.
That would explain why we haven't actually been there. Just kidding.
That's a different show.
That'll get us an email, won't it? So I thought
from the CIA.
Yeah. You just put it in. Now it's in the transcript. Now it's in the. Oh my gosh, we're doomed. I mean, we get lots of downloads from Virginia, so I was curious in who in Virginia is listening to Ohio podcast. But
I'm hoping it's. I'm actually hoping it's the local Ohio politicians.
So am I. So I originally pulled this story because I saw it and I went, "Wow!" Here's a subheadline: Experts say $1 billion project could bring new business to Northeast Ohio. Because remember, during the first 100 days of the Trump administration, when they announced all these cuts and the Doge and all this stuff, it was the NASA apocalypse. It was the NASA Glenn apocalypse. They're cutting it. Oh my gosh, they're cutting it. And when we found out, it was mostly like, global warming stuff and climate change. I mean, it turns out that they want to invest a bunch of money, possibly, into NASA Glenn to help develop nuclear power on the moon. And then I heard the report. And think of it in these. When you listen to this report, I'm going to play from News Channel 5. And again, it might be the first show we haven't had Morgan Trowell. I know.
It's the second show. We didn't have her last week either.
2 shows. Oh,
I know. I had a story pulled with her, but it just didn't make the.
Yeah, it didn't make the cut this week. Well, can't imagine why. So this is News Channel 5, and when you're listening to this report, think of what you, Tom, can think of. What is it? Your power conditioner for your amp?
Yeah.
Think of increased power bills because of an increased demand in power, and think of that when you hear this.
We do have breaking space news now at 6, and it's happening in our own backyard. NASA Glenn just landed a major space project.
Major is an understatement. News 5's Clay Lepard tells us the research center in Northeast Ohio is now set to oversee bringing nuclear energy to the moon and likely the billions of dollars it will take to do that.
We're seeing more astronauts, more celebrities, more people heading to space. But beyond space, what is it going to take to have humans stay on the moon long term? Energy, a crucial task that NASA's new number 2, Amit Kshatriya, says is a major priority for the next steps in space.
That's essential. You can't do anything. You can't build infrastructure. You can't build a sustaining presence unless you have power.
Earlier this year, NASA's acting administrator announced plans to harness energy, specifically nuclear energy, and find a way to put a reactor on the moon.
That is going to help us power our moon base and help us power everything we do on the surface.
Now we're learning that work to make it happen will be overseen right here in Northeast Ohio at NASA Glenn, beating out other NASA facilities across the country.
That program is going to be here at Glenn.
That sounds like $1 billion priority for NASA Glenn in the next 5-10 years.
Massive. Yeah, we're going to need it.
The way it will work is NASA will work with private companies, in part by clearing the red tape, to help build a system together that makes at least 100 kilowatts of power on the moon.
On the moon.
That's enough to power around 80 homes in Ohio at once.
This is a huge deal.
Ask Matt Dolan at Team NEO, a regional economic development group. And this kind of project could bring in all sorts of new business and boom to the area.
It means that if they want to be part of the nuclear effort to bring power to the moon, propel to Mars, to communicate, all that happens here. And if
to the moon. Hey, can I have one in my backyard? I'll take one in my backyard. Can you develop one for my backyard? And maybe not the moon first. So I'm thinking maybe we could probably concentrate on maybe some nuclear power for Earth. I mean, just saying. We could probably use a couple in Ohio. Oh wait, we had some, but we shut them down.
I think the moon's already a nuclear power plant, and they're just going to take credit for it. They've known this for a long time.
Can we run an extension cord?
I was going to say, Monoprice has a great deal on a long extension cords.
We might need a couple of them, but we could probably make it work. I saw that. I was like, oh, they're developing. So I just want to point out to people that we don't want to build a nuclear power plant in America because they're dangerous. Okay, so what they want to do is they want to take a nuclear reactor and put it on a rocket ship and then fire it up into the atmosphere and then launch it to the moon. I mean, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? I have no idea. Not to say we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, if you're afraid of the nuclear power plant sitting in a concrete bunker on Earth, are you going to be a little afraid of it as it's shooting up in 25, 30 miles into space? Ugh. Anyway, good. I mean, great. It's going to be new jobs and money into the area, which is cool. Probably some needed improvements at NASA Glenn, but as we always say, just give it a few minutes when they start freaking out, and especially when it has to do with somebody named Trump.
Yeah,
because normally when you just let's let it marinate for a few minutes, and then I see. So they're getting rid of this crap, and they're actually going to put something in here where that's worth something. Oh, okay, makes sense. Yeah, but again, I would like a reactor in my backyard. I'm not afraid. I don't mind a third arm here or there. It's fine. I can use it, get more work done. And on after that, or on to our next segment. Ugh, totally butchered that segue.
Have they ever chosen location in Washington, D.C. was going to move? Did they ever choose a city?
What was that for?
They were moving the headquarters.
Oh, the headquarters.
They were trying to move it out of D.C., so Cleveland was bidding for it, Florida and Texas. And I'm trying to, hang on,
NASA headquarters moving shows generating.
No, they haven't chosen it yet.
Ongoing discussion, it says.
Yeah.
The building is set to, lease on the building set to expire in 2028. So they're, but they
still got to choose. So.
Yeah, because they have to build something more. Florida, Texas, and Ohio are the three they're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a story on that a while ago, and it kind of dropped off the map there.
Yeah, yeah. So Florida and Texas both have massive presence already for NASA. Obviously, they got launch pads in both.
Well, it's the launch pads, but I think there's more scientists here in Cleveland, so I think we're in the running. I think
it might be good to spread it out.
Well, I think that's part of the Trump administration trying to get like a lot of the federal stuff out of DC.
Get it out of the swamp.
Yeah. FBI is weren't they supposed to be moving to like Nebraska or something like that?
Really? I don't know if I heard that or not.
Well, he said the building's closing and he wanted to move it, or when I say he, Kash Patel wanted to move it somewhere central. It's actually easier for the FBI to be located centrally somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
To get around the country. And then you're also not infiltrated by ideology.
Or influenced by politics. You can get away from a lot of that by not being down the street. Yeah, it makes it a little harder to influence them over the phone than it does in person. That's good. I think it'd be a boom for Cleveland, for Northern Ohio. So
it would be great.
Yeah, it'd be great. Those are good jobs. Good jobs.
Yeah, if you're going to go to college, go for something cool like that, not
Chinese history degree.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next, and on to our final segment, which I've been waiting for. It's our good things segment.
We bring good things to life.
And there's really only one thing that made it on there this week, and that was from you. That was a fluffy surprise. It's not a fox. It's not a raccoon. It's a red panda. They got a new red panda at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. And did they pick a name for him? I thought I saw the video.
Yeah, they did.
Zane or something.
No, the mom picked a name. I don't know how Mama did that. I don't know.
They put three bowls of food out, and when Mom came out, whichever one she ate from first, that's the baby's name, I guess. But I remember all that. But
Poppy was the mom, and Willie was the dad.
Oh, baby's girl name is Leah.
Leela,
excuse me. Yeah,
Leela.
And I've seen these. She
is so cute.
They are very, very, very cute. It's basically, it looks like a fluffy red raccoon. But I'll
tell you what though, I'm like looking at this picture. Everyone go check it out. It's on Fox 8. Just type in baby Red Panda. And actually a few zoos I saw stories around the country. I think there was 2 other zoos that had baby pandas this year. It must be that time of year.
Yeah.
They were all in the headlines, but man, this thing is adorable. But you look at its paws and you're like, oh, this thing can F me up just the way it is now.
Yeah, it might. Here's if you're wondering what a red panda is, obviously you could look at the picture, but I figure I pull a little description. So here's this. I think this guy was recording this at the zoo while he was filming it. So
the red panda. Despite its name, the red panda is not closely related to the giant panda, and despite its appearance, it is not related to the raccoon. Instead, it's in a family of its own, Ailuridae. But just like with the giant panda, in the wild, the mainstay of its diet is bamboo, but it will also eat other things like flowers and eggs.
Your face.
And red pandas are amazing climbers and mainly live
on
in
your
the trees. The red panda is listed as endangered mainly due to habitat loss and poaching for its fur coat.
Yeah, I could tell that fur coat. Something different. It's red and furry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've seen them at the zoo. They're cute. They
nothing
like a panda
No,
though. Like
pandas are small. They're so cute, but I think they can maul you. I don't think they attack you if you're by their babies, but not like we have pandas running around.
Yeah, I think we're safe.
There's another, I'll put good in quotes, thing happening here in Northeast Ohio. Look for Chris Pine. He's filming Carousel here in Northeast Ohio.
Oh,
right now. So people have been seeing him around town. He's been in Star Trek and Wonder Woman. He's filming his next movie called Carousel, and he's been reported to be near in the Akron-Canton area. So look for that. I think you could. It's kind of fun to watch a studio do some filming.
Yeah, it's probably not what anybody would expect. How films are made. It's amazing.
It's boring. It's boring, yeah. But it is. It's very. There's a lot of waiting around.
Yeah,
a lot of setup time. There's a lot of setup time. I mean, these actors, they say they work, 16, 20-hour days sometimes, and it's true. They need to be there for that time, but a lot of times they're spending that time in the trailer. Katie Seagal's in it too, which isn't Katie Seagal the girl from Married with Children?
Which one? Oh, really?
The wife.
Is it?
She was in that that biker show too.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, that's Katie Seagal. She's here too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, she's pretty good too. She was good in that show.
Yeah, I forget the name of that show. It was bikers. It was about biker. It was about a bike club. She was really good in that. Katie's. I'm going to look that up right now. Damn it.
Yeah, because I shouldn't.
Biker show.
It's at the tip of my tongue. I'm like totally.
I know. Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, I know it was something.
Yeah, the show kind of fell off the rails towards the end, I think. But
it kind of did. Yeah, I did. I did. I'm finishing it though.
Yeah, I finished it also, and I think she was great in that show.
Yeah, she was pretty good. All right, I guess that was a tough one. But like I said, the show must go on, and I don't know. I think we're going to see a turning point in this country, and I really hope it goes for the better. And I just appreciate everybody listening. Share the show with your friends. Tell them where from where they can get some sanity in Ohio. Send them to Crooked Rivercast. CrookedRivercast.com, CrookedRivercast@gmail.com, and I really appreciate listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.